One of the hardest things that people experience in their career is being terminated from a job. And it's not just the fact that they're being terminated. Frankly, a lot of people that I know, when they have been, they are grateful to be gone. They worked for a toxic boss. It wasn't a good scenario for them. Maybe they were ready to move on. They're already looking. However, the reality is often people are walked out the door and they don't get a chance to say goodbye to their closest colleagues, people they have come to call friends, and other people that they care about. It's hard. I know. If you feel embarrassed, it's dehumanizing, and frankly, you wonder, of all the years that I contributed, all the effort, all the extra hours that I put in, I couldn't have been given the respect of being able to say goodbye to the people that I worked with. I know it's hard, but you know what? I will admit to you, I have been one of those bosses that had to walk people out because it was the best thing for the organization. But I want to share with you a perspective that even when that happens, it doesn't have to feel like a sense of defeat and anger and frustration. I want to give you some tools and strategies that people have shared with me when they have gone through these incredibly difficult times in their career that have helped them tremendously. And you know what, as a result, it made them feel actually more powerful and purposeful. It allowed them to reinforce with the people that they left behind how important they are and that they will not forget them. And it allowed them to reframe their experience that this was in fact their choice, that they were in control as to how they controlled the outcome of the story. They may not have controlled the fact that they were walked out the door, but they were able to get back control by how they handled it afterwards. Would you like to know what these strategies are? The first one, actually, the strategy came to me through a message that I received just last night as I was preparing for all of these vlogs. A beautiful, wonderful professional who I had the pleasure of speaking for in September. She had bought a number of frog kudos cards. You know the ones. They have a little picture of the frog and it says, "The greatness I notice in you is ... And she brought some frog charms. And she wasn't quite sure what to do with them. She had been using them periodically, recognizing her colleagues, but she had a whole bunch still left. Well, you know, the day that she was walked out, what she says initially felt like the most devastating day of her career. Instead, by the very next day, she was ready to take control. She wrote a list of all of her favorite colleagues, the ones that she missed most, the ones that she wished that she could have said goodbye to, and that she wanted to make sure she still had a relationship with. And she started writing frog kudos cards to them and putting a little frog charm in an envelope and sending it to them in the mail. Picture yourself grieving for a colleague, because there's that survivor guilt, right? When you are the one left and your colleague isn't there anymore. Imagine hearing that they're going to be okay because they were powerful and purposeful enough to be able to write you an acknowledgement despite the fact that they have been walked out. You know they're going to be okay, right? The second tip that I've heard from another amazing colleague, I mean, these are talented people who are being asked to leave the organization. And so if you have ever been terminated like this, please know it is not necessarily that you are not talented and wonderful and have huge opportunities, because I would hire every one of these folks that I'm sharing with you in this vlog. This particular woman, it was really a victim of circumstance. A whole new group of leaders came in and elected officials and out all of the people who had been part of the previous regime. So here she finds herself unemployed for the first time since she was 13 years old. Well, initially she was mad, and I can understand that. But instead of staying mad, she decided to focus on what she does well, and that is to be positive. She pulled out thank you cards. She went to the store. She bought a whole bunch of thank you cards, and she started writing to everybody, not just the people that she had worked with in this job, but anybody she had worked with in any job since she was 12 years old who made a positive difference in her life. She started writing those cards, and she didn't even know if she'd be able to find the addresses for these people. But she said the experience of writing those thank you cards, and specifically the value that that person had on their life, on her career to that point, even if it was 15 years ago, she said it was such an incredible perspective building opportunity. And she said, I never would have done that had it not been for the fact that she had been walked out the door. All right, and here's the third example. Instead of just spending your time on LinkedIn, rebuilding your profile and reaching out to people, trying to network, why not write some testimonials? I'm sure as you've been so busy in your job, you haven't had time to be writing them. Now, of course, even if you're watching this vlog and you've now found a new job, or maybe you've never even been through this experience, definitely be writing those testimonials as well. But there is no better way to get powerful in your career and to be building strong relationships than sending somebody a testimonial. Now, you could have worked with them 5 jobs ago, 10 jobs ago. It doesn't matter. The fact that you can write a testimonial, and that shows up, by the way, if you look at their chronological history, that testimonial will show up where you worked with them. Imagine if you're the only person that has written a testimonial for that particular job that they've been in. They are going to notice. And hardly anybody writes testimonials on LinkedIn anymore, and yet it is the #1 way that recruiters around the world find people. So fuel up other people's career, even if you feel like yours is in a place that's frustrating and negative. Find a way to fuel other people's up, and guaranteed they are going to be motivated to help you with yours. See, recognition, it can be a two-way street. You're no doubt going to get a return reciprocal recommendation as well from them, or at the very least, they will feel grateful and appreciative, and you'll be top of mind for them. It doesn't have to be completely unconditional in terms of that there's no benefit, to both parties. Let's make recognition something that fuels everybody up. And frankly, it can help you redefine even some of the most negative experiences that we can have in our lives. I hope you found this valuable. Have you experienced something like this where you've been walked out the door and you're missing your colleagues? What are some of the ways in which you have found helps in reconnecting, rebuilding, feeling that sense of purpose, confidence, strength, and being able to just push past that negative experience, redefining it with power, with focus, and with greatness? My name's Sarah McVanel, and thank you for joining me for Your Greatness Magnified.